Hey everyone. So today is another story. We're back on story time. Um, it's really funny. Honestly, it's really funny. Today you get to learn a little bit more about me, but at the same time, I'm also learning something about myself through the same conversation. And it's that when did I really want fire? Well, I've always known that I wanted fire. And what is fire? Financially independent, retiring early. When did I know that I wanted fire? And that's a weird question to ask myself because when I was 16 years old and I had asked for money to play sports, I wasn't getting that money. And because I was so good, I was still left to go on that team for maybe 20% of what all the other athletes had paid. I only paid 20%. I had the worst jersey. It was like an old jersey. But I was starting and I was happy to be playing, and that's all I could afford to do. With that being said, I I just knew I didn't want to ask nobody for any money. So I had to start working. And as I worked, what happened was I I gained I gained something called cash. And when I gained this cash, I said, "Wow, I've never had this much. Let me save it." What do you spend the money on when you've never had to spend money? And so, as I'm living at home with my mom at the time, I'm now paying a few bills. Nothing egregious while I'm in college, of course. And then I finally decide, you know what, I'm going to go away to school. So when I go away to school, I'm not paying bills in the house that I'm not living in, right? And so now I have to finance my lifestyle on my own. This was a game changer. I'm living on my own at 19, and these bills are really expensive. 3 months, $6,000. That's $2,000 a month for a college student just to live somewhere. Very expensive. On top of the meal plans and everything else, I had to get off campus. So when I got off campus, I was able to get into a small room. I'm talking about it was a box. I would never advise anybody to live like that. It's about the size of, I would say, my kitchen. Is the size of my kitchen was my whole room, okay? And because of that, um, I felt like I couldn't speak to nobody. I felt um, severely um, lonely in a way, I would say. Although I knew I had people I can reach out to, I did not reach out to anyone. And I kept the grind. I kept working, and it just seemed like I didn't have any money. It would go to books. It would go to um, school online courses. It would go to summer classes. It would go to food, of course, groceries. It would go to rent, electric, utilities. And by the time I bought that U-Haul, by the time I packed all my stuff, by the time I took that 1 month off of work to focus on that Spanish course that I needed to graduate, I had $200 by the time I got back to New York. Then I started to grind again. I started saving. I told myself that in 3 years I was going to buy a house and I would save $60,000 in New York City. I didn't even know anything about buying a house. Nothing at all. I just said in 3 years I'm going to save $60,000 and I'm going to buy a house. I was 22 years old. Fast forward about 1.5 years. Um, I'm 23 and I already had two houses. Not only that, but it only cost me about 50 grand to get into both of those. And I am just completely shocked that I was able to get that in a year and a half. But on top of that, I was completely shocked at how I got it because I would say that it was unintentional, but it really wasn't. I was actively looking for about 4 months for the first one. And then by the time I knew I was leaving the army, I was also actively looking because I knew that within a month I would be purchasing another home. And so because of that, I just knew that I was going to get it. Just like now, I'm actively looking. I'm trying to get houses on an assumable mortgage that are not even listed as assumable. I'm contacting people. I'm asking questions. Hey, is this a FHA loan? Hey, is this a VA loan? I'm trying to get real estate agents to understand what this product is so that I can get a deal. Like, it is tough. This is the market we're in, where you have to educate other people in order to do it. And I'm not even talking about my own agents. I'm talking about other agents that I don't even know, who, if they're nice enough to text me back, they might learn something today. you know. And so we're in a market where, and I do believe that more people will start to text me back, especially in the winter times when they're low on sales and they're not really selling properties. They'll be more interested in on finding out what an assumable loan is and on finding out how to do that deal for me. I'm pretty sure that they'll be more excited to do that deal for me. But right now, you still gotta ride the wave. You still gotta figure things out. But my time will come. So, fire. At 18, I was investing in the stock market. Through all the ups and downs, through all the not having money, not having this, not having that, I never took money out of my stocks. I had two accounts. One was Acorns at the time, and one was Robinhood. For the Acorns account, because of the fees, because of everything else, when it was time for me to finally purchase a home, I drained the Acorns account. It was about 10, 11, maybe $13,000 in it. I know I had made a profit of about at least $1,000 in a year off of Acorns. 2020 was a good year of run up in the stock market, and so I was able to capitalize on that. I was able to get a quick 1,000, and I put that on a house along with some of the money that I saved up. So you got to utilize the stock market as well. Don't just focus on real estate alone. That's how you lose gains. I mean, that extra $1,000 is saving me maybe $5 a month. Who knows? But guess what? That's $5 that I don't have to pay. That's more cash flow in my pocket, and that allows me to be more financially free than I was the other day. With that being said, I then had a goal. I need 5 rental properties. 5 rental properties, and then I'm good. Of course, you might end up with 5 and then you want 10. Or you might end up with 10 and you want 20. But, just having that goal in place to know I will be financially free when I hit that number. Or it's not even being financially free. I will be happy when I hit that number. Most likely that won't happen. Most likely you will be greedy. Most likely you will want more. But at the end of the day, you're taking steps towards your financial freedom. You're working hard now so that you don't work as hard later. I can't even really imagine the fact that I'm sitting here doing this YouTube stuff when I used to be working at this time. And if I wasn't working, I was sleeping because I was so physically drained and physically tired. I am shocked, honest to you. Just 2 years ago, I would not be in this position because I was working. I did not give time to myself. I did not give time to others. I focused. There were seasons where I just could not do anything else. And so it's not really that I thought about financial freedom. It was just that I was just so productive. I was just so focused on making money as much as possible every single year. Bigger salary, bigger raise, bigger negotiations. I couldn't focus on nothing. And all I did was invest and save with no end goal. And then when you just had a lot of money, you would say, let me buy a property, let me invest more, let me do this, let me do that. And so the business just came to me because of the work ethic I had, because of the save that I had, because I wasn't spending anything, because I was just so invested, I was so dived into my job. And so when people tell me that they're incapable of getting out of their situation, it's because they're not tunnel visioned. They're not tunnel visioned. Tunnel visioned is where you go when there's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to think about. Your mind is just focused on that and that alone. You know, it pisses me off sometimes when I think about anything outside of the money. When I even think about spending the money, it pisses me off when I know it's really not worth it what I'm spending this money on. But because of entertainment, because of fun, I might throw a little bit in that bucket. Pisses me off. So again, when you get tunnel vision, you'll understand what your fire journey is. But truthfully, all those people who say, oh yeah, my fire number is X, Y, and Z, and I do X, Y, and Z, honestly, I never really had a fire number. I just knew that I wanted to be retired by 35, and I definitely will. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, Rumble channel as well as my YouTube. You know, I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.